I'm going to read a lengthy portion of Romans chapter 8, but there is one verse I want to focus on. Amen. But it's good that you take time to read Romans chapter 8. There are things I call pivotal scriptures. There are just some chapters in the Bible that if you are a real Christian, you must know like the back of your hand. You must know it, you must understand it, you must breathe it. It must be a part of you. If it's not a part of you, you are a joker. Romans chapter 8 is a key scripture. It was that serious that when we were in university, we tested the veracity of the biblical translation by going to see how it presents Romans chapter 8. Once we want to test a Bible translation, we'll just go straight to Romans chapter 8. We'll go to Ephesians chapter 1. There were some particular scriptures we used to know if this translation is good or we should throw it away. Are you listening to me? Romans chapter 8 is a very key passage. So let me read as fast as possible because where I'm going to in Romans chapter 8 is a bit far, but I want to center on a verse. I will say one or two things along the way, but I need you to know them. Verse 1, the Bible says, there is therefore now no condemnation to them which are what? In Christ Jesus, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. That particular line is missing in many translations. That's the second part. Are you listening to me? Because most of the old manuscripts don't have it. What it simply has is, there is no condemnation to those who are in Christ Jesus. In Christ Jesus, God has removed judgment and is consistent. Amen. Amen. It's consistent with the message of the Bible that if you have received Christ, you have escaped from wrath. Are you listening to me? The Bible said, he that believeth shall be saved, he that believeth not shall be damned. It's fixed. Jesus said it. So if you believe, but then remember, belief is different from just assenting in your head. Believing Jesus exists does not mean you believe in Jesus. You have to understand. Accepting that Jesus exists does not mean you believe in Jesus. Yes, Jesus lived. Yes, Jesus died. Doesn't mean you believe in Jesus. Believing in Jesus is a deeper process, but that's not the lecture for today. The main thing is this. The Bible says, who walk not after the Spirit, but after the flesh, and that's good. He said, for the law of the Spirit of life in Christ Jesus has what? Made me free from the law of sin and death. For what the law could not do, the law, the 10 commandments could not save, cannot save, can never and will never ever save. And anybody who tries to follow it as a means of standing right before God is under a curse. It will never work. You don't stand before God that you did right. That's what makes it work. The law failed. The law is a failure when it comes to correcting sin. Do you know why it's a failure? Let me quickly explain it because some of you may not have this understanding. My Bible tells me that whosoever looketh into the perfect law of liberty is like a man looking at a mirror. Are you listening to me? And Apostle Paul, that's James talking. Apostle Paul tells us in the book of Romans that the law was put there to make sin more sinful, so that it could expose sin in man. Man didn't see himself as a sinner until God put those rules in place. Are you listening to me? Until God said, this is not right, this is not right, this is not right. Until today we still have that issue. So the law came to say this is sin. It's like you wake up in the morning, you look at the mirror. The mirror tells you how scattered your hair is. Are you listening to me? It tells you your eyebrows are not in place. It tells you your makeup has wiped off. It tells you that your face is paler than it used to be. It tells you that you have saliva in the corner of your lips. It tells you that you have one stain on your clothes. But that's what the mirror does. The problem is people took the mirror and decided to try to comb their hair with it. Or they try to use it to scrub their body. It's not mirror that you use to fix the dirty on your body. Is mirror you use to see it. But there is something else that's supposed to wash it. It is called the blood. That's why when you try to stand before God by saying, I have obeyed this, I have obeyed this, I have obeyed this, I have obeyed this, it's no different from you trying to comb your head with your mirror. What will be the result? You have a hand mirror and you are combing your head with it. What will you get? You will still remain as horrible as you always will, if not worse. Because that's not what's supposed to fix it. What's supposed to fix it is the blood. That's the cure. Even from the Old Testament, the blood was always the antidote. Never the law, but the blood. Are you listening to me? So God had to come and free us from that bondage, bringing in another law by the Spirit, and a law of the Spirit. Because everybody kept trying to use that mirror. He had to bring another mirror that was effective. And that's the law of the Spirit. Are you listening to me? And the question is, I don't know how many people have bothered to find out what's that law of the Spirit that set you free from the law of sin and death. The law that makes it that once you are following that law, you don't need to worry about the other law. That's an assignment for another day. Praise the Lord. But the Bible says what the law could not do, in that it was weak through the flesh, God sending his soul in the likeness of sinful flesh for sin, and then passed judgment on sin in the flesh. What did he do? He condemned sin in the flesh. So he's already judged sin. As far as God is concerned, sin is a forgotten issue. Let me continue. That what now? After having judged sin, the Bible said that the righteousness of the law may become a reality or fulfilled in us. It didn't say by us. It said in us. That all that Jesus labored to achieve will become a reality from within. That we will develop a righteous mindset from within. Not because we are trying to, but because it is now a nature. Christianity is not a practice, it's a life. That's why when someone says Christianity is a lifestyle, it's wrong. Christianity is neither a religion. Religion is man's attempt to look for God. Man's idea of how God behaves. Religion is man's effort to try to reach God. Christianity is not a religion. Christianity is God reaching out to you, not you reaching out to God. Am I speaking English? It's God reaching out to you. And that's why you must never make the mistake of thinking you are doing God a favor by being in service. Or by being a member of the church. You are not doing God a favor. I'm not doing it again because of my sister. You are done. I'm not doing anybody a favor by coming. If you don't come, good luck to you. Are you listening to me? You don't do nobody a favor by being in church. It's only yourself. Anyway, the Bible said that the righteousness of the law might become a reality in us, not by us, but in us. That it is a nature now, it's not a practice, it's not a religion, it's not an attempt. See, I am not trying to get close to God. I am not trying to know God. I am not trying to make heaven. No. I am already a citizen of heaven. I am already a child of God. I am already friends with God. Christianity that tries to achieve is a Christianity that has failed. That's religion. Religion tries to achieve a closeness to God. Religion tries to achieve a height. That's why you see people who come and say, I fasted 40 days dry. Somebody will say it's 40 days we did. In our church we did 60 days. Then they'll say it's 60 days we are doing. Our own GO does 100 days. So don't boast. Those are all Christianity trying to achieve. But real Christianity does not try to achieve. True Christianity receives and expresses. Jesus achieved, We are not meant to go and achieve again. That's why when Paul tried it, Paul said, not that I have apprehended what I have. See, he was still trying to, there was still this drive in Paul to try to apprehend for what he was apprehended. But the question is, if you've already been apprehended for it, why are you trying to apprehend? Just accept it. Accept it. Accept you are holy. That's what grace is. Accept you are holy. Don't try to achieve it. Accept you are righteous. Don't try to become righteous. Accept it. You see, when I hear Christians say it's difficult to forgive, I know a religious person. Why? It shows somebody who has not accepted their status. You are still an outsider. Because if you are an insider, forgiveness is your nature. It's not an effort. It is not a struggle. It's not a contest. It's not a debate. It is your nature. But you think you have to walk towards it rather than accept. He said, see, in this world you have tribulation. It exists. One translation already says, one translation says you have tribulation already. He said, but be of good cheer. I have overcome. Past tense. I finished it. I fought it. I have won it. Guess what? We are still trying to overcome instead of us to come over to the overcoming that he has come. In other words, accept that this thing that is biting you, he has won. Not he will win. Because we are praying for God to fight the battle he has finished fighting. We are still seeing the enemy hale and hearty, while the enemy has already been condemned thousands of years ago. The reason why the devil can still rear his head against you is because you think he's alive. You understand? He's defeated. Once your mentality enters into that state that he is defeated, that's what is called renewing of mind. Your circumstances will adjust to what you have accepted, because the law says, or the Bible says, as he thinks, so he is. So your status is determined by your thinking, not your crying. Do you know why we pray? We pray to change our minds, not to change God's mind. The job of prayer is not to make God do what he already has done. The job of prayer is to make us receive what he has already done. Prayer is supposed to actually adjust your mentality as you pray. It is supposed to help you see the greatness of God and the victory that already exists. That's why if you pray according to the word of God, you will quickly discover in the middle of the prayer that what you are crying about is not a prayer point. I knelt down one day. Every day, this is my prayer to the Lord, and it sounds very spiritual and humble. Until today, I still pray it. Holy Spirit forgive me, but I still pray it. Why? My religious nature has not yet overcome the idea that every day I need to go to the Lord and say, Father, have mercy on me. So I said, Father, have mercy on me. And one day I knelt down, I was about to say, Father, I said, shut up. He said, your very existence is because I already have mercy on you. Stop begging me for what I already did. He said, that's the only reason you are born again, because of my mercy, not because you did anything right. It's not because you don't know your way around. You only exist, you only serve because I have already had mercy on you. Praise the Lord. So let me just read on, because I'm still going somewhere. I don't want to lose my focus. When I see scripture, I don't get something. The Bible said that the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us who walk not after the flesh, but after what? The Spirit. The Bible notes walk after. Walk what? After. That is to say, those of us who have decided to just copy the Spirit. To walk after means to imitate as a life choice. To do what he does. Now, when I decide to imitate Christ, I've accepted my status that there is righteousness in him. When I make that life decision that it is Jesus people will see in me, It is Jesus people will hear in my voice. When I speak, I have no personal opinion. I can only think as Jesus thinks. It is evidence that there is righteousness in me, not by me, but in me. Are you listening to me? That there is righteousness operational in me, because that decision to copy Christ means I have accepted my newness, my new position. Only people who have accepted that they themselves have become Christ will attempt to copy Christ. Only they. Why? They have accepted it is possible to forgive, even when the person has not said I'm sorry. Hello?
Yeah.
Because if God waited for you to say you are sorry, there will be no cross. He forgave you before you ever said, Father, I confess my sins. It doesn't wait for you to confess your sins before he forgives you. How do I know? Ephesians tells me I should forgive my brother as God has forgiven. Not as God will forgive me, but as God has forgiven me. The things that I did 5 minutes ago that I have not yet had time to say, Father, I'm sorry for, he already forgave me for it. And he expects that the same measure with which he forgives, I should also live by that standard. If I have accepted Christ in me and the righteousness is in me, I will operate by that status and walk in that status. I'll be able to look at somebody caught in adultery, and instead of attacking that person, I will attack those attacking the person trying to correct the person. No, but I can't. See, hear me. Hear me, Katila. Listen very carefully. Jesus faced the people that took it upon themselves to cast judgment on the enemy. Was the woman not guilty? She was caught in the act. Yet Jesus did not face the woman. Jesus faced the people who took it upon themselves to fix the woman. And there are lots of believers today who feel it's their job to correct everybody. So guess where they are right now with Jesus? They think they are scoring points. They don't know they are getting rough on their head. They don't know. Because so long as you have one stone, one sin, you are not permitted to do anything. Shall we not correct one another? No, exalt one another. Correction. Exalt one another. Exalt is different from correct. Somebody said, but the Bible says rebuke. He said with doctrine. Which means as I'm teaching, you will be correcting yourself. That's rebuking with doctrine. As I'm teaching, you will be checking yourself that, hey, I'm guilty. That's rebuking with doctrine. I don't need to mention your name. I don't need to give a word of knowledge that you are caught in adultery. Doctrine itself will tell you, you fix yourself where you are seated. But what he says is we exhort and encourage. In other words, I know you fell, but you can do it. You can stand again, and you can make it, and you can do better. Not, you did it wrong, 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 you did it. You will find yourself in the opposing side of Christ. The Bible says, it said, for they, verse 5, that are after the flesh do mind, they pay more attention to the things of the flesh. But they that are after the Spirit, the things of the Spirit. So if you are too conscious of what is wrong than what is right, you are in the flesh. That's why I tell prophets, your eyes can see demons, your dreams can see devil, you don't see angel inside. And for every demon, there are 2 angels. There must be something wrong with your eyes. The eyes with which I'm using to look at Tom and see Stella. Any eye that does selective reading has glasses on. It's called dark shades. Why? You filtered out some colors. Haven't you noticed when you wear shades, the colors reduce? There are colors you don't see once you start wearing shades. There are colors you just don't see. By virtue of it, it becomes less chromatic. You don't see some of the colors. How can you see demon and not see the angel standing by your side? There's something wrong with that prophetic eye. It's not from God. It's not from God. If it is God, He will show you the angel standing right by the side of the demon. I'm serious. We actually think a lot of what we manifest is the real gift of God. We have not entered. We have not entered. We've not scratched the surface of the real gift of God. What we have is our minds playing tricks on us, giving us a lot of imagination, and every once in a while they are close to truth. And then you suddenly think you're infallible just because once in a while what you guessed by word of guessing is now word of knowledge. Then you begin to think everything you think must be right. Everything you think must be right. No, there is something wrong with what you are thinking when all you see is black. See, let me tell you something. The Bible said God is of purer eyes than to behold iniquity. Where is your own that you are seeing iniquity all the time? You see, me, I use biblical parameters to measure. What kind of eyes do you have that all you see is iniquity? And the Bible says God is of purer eyes than to behold. If God's eyes don't behold, where's your own beholding it from? Not that God doesn't know it exists, He refuses to see it. He refuses to focus on it. So I can tell who is in the flesh by their focus. Their focus is too material, is too physical, is too conscious of what people think, what people say, how they flow, and it's always like we got to be perfect, we got to be right. No, I don't got to be right, I'm right. Because the righteousness was fulfilled in me, not because I did anything, but because somebody satisfied it and God imparted it to me. And I received the impartation with joy. I don't need to struggle to be righteous anymore. I don't need to struggle to be holy anymore. I just am. Yeah. I just what? Am. So ask me my name. What's your name? Ask me what's my name. What's your name? My name is I am. That's why I can boldly say I am the righteousness of God in Christ Jesus. That's the long form of my name, but the short form is I am. So when we say we see Bishop Mark Omonze, I am. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. It says now to be carnally minded. That is you are cut off, disconnected from God. You are disconnected from God. Just because your chosen consciousness is darkness. The Bible said, let your eyes be full of light. The servant of Elisha saw enemies all around and noticed Elisha was not perturbed. And he was like, listen to me, can't you see this? 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 And Elisha said, listen to me, they that be for us is far more than them. That is also Father, open his eyes. Your eyes are not open when all you see is the evil that people are capable of. When you are so mindful of the flesh, you are dead. That is to say, you are not born again, you have not received Christ, you are not in the circle, Holy Spirit is not operating by you. Believe it or not, some of the prophets that you go to their programs and you see thousands of people are actually dead men walking. Or people who flock. See, deep collect onto the deep, shallow collect onto the shallow.
That's right.
I will always tell you, stupidity is appealing to the spirit. Are you listening to me? Stupidity is what? Appealing to the stupid. Professing themselves to be wise, they become fools. But the Bible said to be spiritually minded. Spiritually minded means you can see what God is doing. I'll say that again. Spiritually minded means you can see what God is doing. In my life, Lord, I see what you're doing. One more time, Lord, I lift my hands in praise of your name. You see, that's a life that's in the spirit. But the one that is in the flesh is, Satan, go your way, I shall be victorious. The blood of Jesus. It's not an easy road. We are going to heaven. There are so many thorns on that way. How do you see God in that one? The Bible says when your mind is that way, you are dead, you are disconnected. You see, to have God, you must see God. I'll say that again. To have God, you must see God. You must see God in even your sufferings. Paul said, we glory in infirmities, but when I'm weak, then I'm strong. Paul said, this affliction that afflicts us right now is working for us a weight of glory. In other words, there is trouble. I'm not pretending there is no trouble, but I can see God working in that trouble and through that trouble, because God has made darkness his pavilion.
Right.
His operational base.
That's right.
They say midnight hour is the darkest hour. That's when the witches come out. No, correction. That's when God comes out. Bible didn't tell me that's when the witches come out. If you find that verse, show me. God is God of the night and God of the day. He owns them both. Witches are not stronger at night. Why do you think God sends you to sleep at night? Don't you ever ask yourself that question? Oh, God decides that the best time for you to sleep is when your enemy is most active. No, he sends you to sleep because he that watches over Israel neither slumbers nor sleep. He even commands it, for he giveth his beloved sleep. So sleepless night is a function of the fact that your relationship with God is broken. He giveth his beloved sleep and you can't sleep. Then you are not his beloved. You better go and toast him again. Oh yes. You better toast him again. When you can't sleep at night, get up and say, there is none like you. No one else can touch my heart like you. Before you know it, I hope you ever tried it before. Did you notice every time I try to do praise and worship at night, the next thing is you're waking up in the morning. Then you start biting the devil. Meanwhile, you took sleeping tablets. He giveth his beloved sleep. But the Bible says, listen. It said, for the spiritually minded is life and what? Peace. So even when earthquake is happening, you have peace. Why? You can see God at work. You can see God protecting you. You can see God keeping. That's what grace is about. Then he says, because the carnal mind is enmity The mind that is too conscious of the material happenings and God cannot be friends. Didn't you see that sister? I think she's possessed. See, the day you think somebody among you in church is possessed, go and hug that person. If not, you're not going to. I cannot tell you how many husbands I know as pastor. There is no pastor that I know personally, including myself, that the devil did not at one time or another suggest you are married to a witch. The devil will say, it will come like word of knowledge. She's a witch. And he will give you 7 different reasons why she's a witch. If you listen, some have prayed for their wives to die. Some will come home and not come near her because she's a witch. You see, once you excuse yourself from somebody because you think the person is a witch, you are a coward. And once you are a coward, you are among the first that will enter hell. Because the righteous as bold as a lamb is witch, I will swallow you up. The witch will come near. I will swallow you with love. No, that sister thinks she's possessed, so let's stay away from her. Don't eat her food because she will it's poisoning me. For those who believe, if they eat anything deadly, shall not hurt them. For those who don't believe, who are not born again, that sister, she's a devil, I won't eat her food. I wish you good luck. You are not born again. Carnally minded is enmity with God, but they cannot see God, cannot see the superiority of God, therefore cannot believe God, nor please. You can please God with that kind of a mindset. How are you supposed to make God happy with fear? The Bible says, so then they that are in the flesh cannot please God. Verse 8. He said, you are not in the flesh, but in the spirit. If so be that the Spirit of God dwell in you. Now, if any man have not the Spirit of Christ, he is what? None of his. And if Christ be in you, the body is dead because of sin, but the Spirit is life because of what? Righteousness. Verse 11. But if the Spirit of him that raised up Jesus from the dead dwell in you. Why if? It's not a statement of faith. Apostle Paul, if somebody is born again, the Holy Spirit is already in them. So please, Apostle Paul, why are you telling us if? I discovered that the Holy Spirit can be in you and not dwell. There's a difference between dwell and be. The Holy Spirit can be in you 24/7 and not be comfortable 1 second. Have you ever spotted with somebody that you are very uncomfortable throughout your sports, being very miserable throughout the time you are there? You feel like a stranger, you feel like you are not welcome. Every time you walk through the door, it's like eggshells. Once you get to the compound, you started praying. You started praying and wondering, hey, let me not say the one that will offend them today. Have you ever, you feel like a stranger and yet that's where you're supposed to lay your bed. So at night, you sleep with one eye closed, one eye open because you don't know the next shouting that's going to land on your head. The place you forgot to keep. That's not dwelling. That's being in. But Apostle Paul said, if he dwell, and that's what I want to center on today. Does the Spirit dwell in you? Is he comfortable? Is he at home in you? Or he's feeling like a rejected squatter in his own temple? Because if he is in you, there are certain things that are supposed to be the result of it. The Bible said if he dwells in you, number one, you are in the Spirit. It's not an effort. It's not an extracurricular activity you enter into when you start praying. It is not something that happens during praise and worship. It is just something that just is. When the Holy Spirit is comfortable in you, the voice of God does not require mountain to be heard. You can hear him in the toilet. You can hear him at the shower. You can hear him inside Uber and hear him on Okada. Hear me. If the Spirit of God is at home in you, you don't need fasting to hear God. So think very well and ask yourself this question. Is he at home in me? Mandatory when you receive Christ, he has to enter you. But is he at home? Knock, knock. Is he really there? Are you sure? Bible says if he's at home, you are always in that realm. It doesn't matter whether you are watching cartoon or playing with friends. He can talk to you any second and you will hear him because you are in the Spirit. He can tell you the very second you mess up and fix yourself right up. He can adjust you this way, adjust you that way. He can download somebody's problems and the solution to you in a microsecond. That when people stand in front of you and raise an issue, the answer is already dancing in your head. If you need to go back home to pray for 3 days to get an answer, he's not at home. He went out on his throne. Yes, it's called the Holy Spirit is grieved. Oh, you didn't hear what I said. He's grieved. He's not at home. If once, if twice, if 3 times, if for something that is supposed to be fixed and settled, no, that means it's not as fixed and settled as we thought. It's now an option. Do you know the Holy Spirit has already gone on holidays for some people for a long time? And when it goes on holiday, the longer it goes, right, wrong will look right. Wrong will begin to look right. You will begin to fight the people who are trying to fix you up correctly. You will hate them. The people who love you will become your enemy. People who hate you will be your best friends. Right will become wrong. Wrong will become right. Your brain will no longer see clearly. Thinking becomes upside down. Look around the world, it's happening. When a man of God that used to be a responsible man of God and one of the head churches in an entire country come now, and the only mission he has is to be tearing down men of God. He's become jobless. The Spirit left a long time ago. He didn't know. He became too economically minded. He just became too. So the only thing he can fight now is tithe, seed, miracle. He's now fighting the very foundations that saved him. And he can't even tell. He can't tell. Why? The Spirit has gone on a stroll. He's not comfortable in him. Only God knows what he's been doing in secret that made the Holy Spirit not comfortable in him. But the point is he can no longer see scriptures clearly. His interpretation is skewed. His understanding is skewed. I have actually listened to some people in this generation talk nonsense. On the flight coming, the young lady was trying to tell me that preaching is not a job. I asked her, I said, when last did you do your work? I gave her, see, in a microsecond, I gave her 4 scriptures that show that preaching is a job. When he called the apostle, he said, when you go, eat what they give for the laborer is worthy of his wages. In other words, that food is your pay. Collect your pay. And he called them laborers. He said, the harvest is plenteous, the laborers are few. A laborer, labor is job. Paul said we are co-laborers together with God. 1 Corinthians chapter 9 tells us in verse 13 that whosoever preaches the gospel must get their living by the gospel. Numbers 18 tells us that this work of the sanctuary that the priests are doing, the tithe is their pay for it. I can rattle it all up and tell you over and over again, it's a job. See, it's not a career, it's a job. And it is one of the hardest jobs on this planet to preach. Why you are doing so many people's jobs? God should give the preacher money. You must be stupid. Why not you go earn money anyway? If preacher has need, he should go to God. Why is he collecting people's money to survive? Listen to me. If I'm a pastor of 1 million people, 1 naira from 1 million people is 1 million naira every Sunday. Yet they are cheating me because they won't pay the person that comes to wash their clothes 1 naira. None of you have ever paid for the services you get. You go for a motivational speaking seminar. Per head, you know how much you pay. Are you listening to me? When he is done, you are still back to where you are before because there's no divine energy to make what he has said come to pass. But your head is still stimulated. You are stimulated. You are motivated. 3 days later, you are back to where you were before. Nothing has changed. But me, I have backup. Your cells can be reprogrammed by the words that come out of my mouth. Cancer can vanish from your body. Your financial situations can change simply because people who hated you before can favor you based on the words that came out of my mouth to the controller of the universe. And then you say, I'm not working. You must be done. Then the Bible says, all work, he said, workers of miracle. Is it not work? I must work the works of him that called it while it is still day. Is it not work? And in all labor there is profit. All, not some. How many scriptures have I given you in how many seconds? To prove that preaching is a job. That is one. Praise the Lord. I said, shut up. You don't go to church in 5 years yet you want to assay to tell me how to do my job. That you don't collect that. Your brain is on break. Only your way, titi line that cost forever. I must collect my court. It's my due. Get angry all you want. It's my court. The Bible said, "He that ploweth the field must what?" He said, how did he put it? Thou shalt not muzzle the ox that treads the ground. He that ploweth the field must plow in hope of partaking of the fruit. You don't share sheep and not use the wood. What are you talking about?
Yes, sir.
Then I minister to you. I teach you wisdom. I counsel you. You get into a huge contract. You break through. And you're telling me I won't get my cut. Don't you see? You give housing agents cut.
That's right.
You saw the house. You saw the signboard. You took their phone number. You called them. They came to meet you in front of the house. You now paid for the house. You will still give them 20%. Somebody is angry at getting 10. Only obey. Titi lie. Madness will cost you forever because you are an idiot for thinking such. Even if God did not say it, I am a partaker of your success through my counsel and the wisdom that I give you. What are you talking about? Do I buy fuel with prayer? Which police station would I go to now and say, please fill my car? I have 5,000 naira worth of prayer for you. Fill my car with fuel. Then when my children go to school, I will tell the teacher, see, I have 1.5 million worth of prayer for you. Just put the 3 of them in the classes for the 10. After all, I'm a pastor. See, if I am exempt from being paid, I am exempt from pain. Listen, I will say it again. If as a pastor I am exempt from being paid, then I am also exempt from pain. I should get fuel for free. I should send my children to school for free. I should get free housing. I should get free car. And if I so choose, I should get free jet.
Yes, sir. Right.
I not pay a cover for it. After all, I'm only a pastor. I don't deserve to be paid. So I don't also deserve to pay. Any which way, choose not to pay me. You must now make sure I don't have to pay for anything. Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
I think you love my preaching. Praise the Lord. Now the Bible says, if he dwells in you, your spirit, the God part of you is alive. Your body is dead because of sin, but your spirit your spirit is at its highest potential because of the Holy Spirit. Believe it or not, let me tell you something. There is a limitation to how much you can do with your brain. Are you listening to me? There is a limit to which you can think with your brain. I stopped thinking with my brain years ago, but I started thinking in my spirit, and I discovered that what people see, people will make some statements like this. I'm like, man, how stupid are you? Because that sentence you are talking and is sounding so smart. I can see 131 different reasons why what you said is stupid. Why? By the Spirit, I operate in the realm of revelation. So I see beyond what the flesh can produce. I see in the dimension of the Spirit. I can tell you what your future is without a word of prophecy or word of wisdom. Without operating the gifts of the Holy Spirit, I can see what the consequence of your present action will be and approximately how long it will take for it to manifest and wound you. But you see, the Bible says the things of the Spirit are foolishness to the natural man. So by the time I'm telling you what I see by the Spirit, your thinking will say it doesn't make sense. And imagine someone wrote on Facebook. The person said, Bishop Oyedepo made a statement that the only way you can get out of poverty is through giving. He now said, you're a liar, you're a charlatan. Thanks to one Adela, I don't know which is trying to settle. They put up a video and these ardent followers are so they don't think, but they think they are the ones that are thinking. The guy now said that statement is shut up, is wrong. He was so passionate about it. So I asked him, since when is giving, whether naturally or supernaturally, not the way out of poverty? He says by rendering economic service. I now said, fine. The farmer gives seed to the ground to get a harvest. The trader gives out goods to collect a profit. He's still giving. If the man says giving is the way out of poverty, what is wrong with it? You give up time. You call it a job. Energy. You get paid. What process do you get money from that does not involve giving? Somebody say, well, I inherit it. That doesn't make you rich. We will know if you are rich 5 years later. We will know 5 years later. If you don't give, out of what you say, everybody knows it. And he said, can he go and quote it in the economic summit in Davos? So I asked him, should economic summit be the one telling me which scripture is correct or not? The things Jesus said, will you go to economic summit in Davos to say it? He sounded wise when he was saying it. But when I look and say, see this guy, how can you be saying that rubbish? The things of the Spirit are foolishness to the natural man. They are foolishness. But I don't understand why is tithe so complicated when you pay tax to your government. Tithe is the percentage you give to the government for rendering services to you. Tithe is what you give to the pastors for rendering services to you. They counsel you so they do the work of shrink. They entertain you so they make you happy. They make you laugh. They encourage you. They comfort you. They do the work of motivational speakers. They do the work of a teacher. I am educating you guys right now. In my teaching, I bring out science. I bring out mysteries. I bring out philosophy. I bring out poetry. In my teaching, I am doing the job of a doctor. Here, the counselor. And you say I shouldn't get a percentage. I say it again. If any man come to you with any other gospel, let him be accursed. Why? I should be a fifth-class citizen because I serve God. Because Solomon who served God was fifth class. Abraham who served God was poor. Samson was poor and he was dating the most desirable woman in the land of the Philistines. Abi, thou art crazy, thou art crazy, oh boy. So the Bible said, if he, verse 11, if the spirit of him that raised Jesus from the dead dwell, if that raised Christ from the dead, he shall also quicken. That word means invigorate, make alive. He will revive your entire physical faculties, your brain. Your brain will operate at a frequency that it is not used to operating. Your eyes will operate at a frequency it's not. It will reprogram your cells, your DNA. You will come out with SS, but if that spirit dwells in you, he will change it to AA. You could actually have HIV that is supposed to kill you, but if he can dwell in you, he will quicken, which means he will kill that thing that is killing you. Hallelujah. But he's got to be at home in you. To live in divine health is not a difficult thing. Just make the Holy Spirit comfortable. The Bible said he will also. He raised. See, Jesus was condemned as dead. Blood completely drained out of his body. Not a drop of blood left. Everything dried up. You understand what I'm saying? Water came out of him. He was completely dehydrated, and when they asked for water, they gave him vinegar instead, which he refused to take. So he died empty. Yet the Bible said he raised him from the dead. When Jesus appeared before Thomas, he said, Thomas, you doubt that I am alive. He said, put your finger through the holes or the prints in my palm. He said, now put your hands through my side. He said, for spirit does not have flesh and bone. It is a blood. He was now a creature of flesh and bone. Didn't need blood to function anymore. Because the spirit had quickened his mortal body. You see, you as a normal human being, the spirit is in your blood. The Bible said the life of a man is in the blood. They drain the blood, you are done. But when you are a regenerated, you are born again Christian, it's no longer just blood. Every fiber of your being contains the spirit. That's why when you touch the sick, they recover. That's why when you make pronouncements, the air will conduct it, manipulate the molecules to rearrange whatever is happening in the atmosphere in your favor. Why? You are now carrying the spirit, not just in the blood, but in your hair, in your skin. That's why you can sleep on a bed and your sweat will later heal somebody else that goes to lie down on it. But you have got to understand that this is who you are now. You've got to make the Holy Spirit comfortable in you. And he can't be comfortable when you spend your time gossiping, talking about the ills of what these people are doing, talking about that. Look, see, he can't stay there. He can't. Apostle Paul prayed for the Ephesians. In Ephesians chapter 3, he said, I pray that the Lord and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of whom every other family is named on earth, that he will grant you that Christ will dwell in you by faith. You need to be in the position of faith for Christ to dwell in you, which means I know this boy is a thief, but because I'm a creature of faith, I still have to believe that he can become a better person, become a president, though the record is that he's a thief. My faith cannot stay on believing God for money and healing, but when it comes to people, I say no, they can never change. My faith has to be consistent. If I believe God can do it, then God can do it. No matter what it applies to. So I don't know what's happening in this church. You see what this person is. See, if you come to church and you are seeing everything wrong with the church, there's something wrong with your eyes. Go and have it washed. If it's God you came to see, you should see God. It's amazing how people talk less about what God is doing and talk more about what the devil is doing. That's your testimony. That's why you can't grow. If he dwells in you, what comes out of your mouth will be the proof of it. That he's at home there. Why he will inspire wholesome words that bring healing. You know, when the Bible says we should preach the gospel, it's amazing how people can be announcing evil reports and think they are mature. The Bible says through faith the elders obtain a good report. But they are on Facebook pumping out evil reports, and they think they are mature. How? Bible parameter tells me you must be a baby. Because elders obtain good report. When you mature, when you are an elder, you focus on the good report, because the Bible says we should go into the world and spread the good news. The people that have beautiful feet are carriers of good news, not people who say, did you see what Mr. Abadegeshi stole the other day? If you see that sister, that pastor came out of the office with sweat on his body, with sweat on her body, she even forgot to knock up the last bottle. The time has come when judgment must begin in the house of God. So God made you judge. We must correct these things in the body of Christ. So you are not the one that said, I will build my church and the gates of Christ are not there. Then you forget scriptures that said, judge not another man's servant. Now who are you? Who are you? Paul said, even me, I don't judge myself. Judge me not before me. He said, whether I'm right or wrong, I don't know. But judge me not before time. That's Apostle Paul that said it. The same Apostle Paul like using as excuse to say, Paul rebuked Peter. Didn't he suffer for it? That's what I'm talking about. After saying, whosoever they are doesn't matter to me, they adjusted the statement later. People don't read the Bible chronologically. To see that the guy had enough time to repent of that mistake. When people go wrong, you pray for them. That's how you know you have the Spirit of God. You pray for them and believe they can be better. They can be better. None of us have arrived yet. We are still on the way. What did I say? I said we are still on the way. I haven't arrived. Listen to me. Me, I have sin in my body. Like Apostle Paul, I am chief of sinners. Bible said Christ came to save people like me. The reason why Jesus and I are close is because he came to save sinners of whom I am chief. That's why we are close. He said, I came not for the righteous. The reason why I can't come for you is because you are not right, you are righteous by your own effort. The only righteousness I have is the one he gave me, not the one I've been able to achieve. And I'm not trying to achieve it. I've told people before, I'm not trying to make heaven. The one Jesus made is good enough for me. When you finish making your heaven, let me see what it is. Yes! I don't have any heaven to make. He has already made it for me. He said, I go to prepare a place for you. Did he say, well, I will help you prepare the place? He said, he said, when I have prepared the place, I will come and take you to myself. Did he say he needed my contribution to that assignment? He said, I will come and I will take you. So it's already fixed, it's already in the agenda. My job is to make sure that my dealings with you is in the same spirit of his dealings with me. If he deals with me in grace, I have to deal with you in grace. That's my job. In that way, I know I am walking after the Spirit. And because I'm walking after the Spirit, Christ will find it comfortable to dwell in me. So the question you want to ask yourself tonight is Christ dwelling in you? Like I said earlier, if forgiveness is a prayer point, Father, help me forgive, he's not there. If he's there, you won't need an effort to forgive. If he's there, I'm serious. It won't be an effort, it won't be a thought. You will simply remember that God forgave you. So you say, what the ones I've committed against God is worse. That's how you know the Spirit of God is. You will say, the one I did against God is worse. So this one that this person is doing against me is not what I will have sleepless nights over. Don't worry, it's okay. Forget that money. Your sister in church is owing you money. You are reminding person a year later. You are possessed. There's a demon in your head. Why are you reminding person? At some point, you must be wise enough to know God used you to bless that person and say, Father, in Jesus' name. It was a loan I gave. See, listen to me. I told of how I raised 210,000 to pay rent of 350. I was already at the point of deadline, 3 weeks to quick notice. 3 weeks. And a senior bishop said, that money you say you raised, bring it. By Tuesday, I will give it back to you. I will even help you complete it to pay your rent. That was about 8 years ago. Do I need to complete my statement? That was about what? 8 years ago. Tuesday came, passed. 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 Listen to me, let me tell you something. Since that time till now, I have still put money in that person's hand, more than that. And if the person asks me for money today again, I will still drop. Why do I keep having the flow? It's not because my account is reading it. Go and check my bank statement. I see, you think this man has some money hiding somewhere. No, I don't have money hiding somewhere. I have God supplying somewhere. And the reason why God is supplying is because I don't withhold. I don't hold tight to it. Money will never be my God. I count it that, Father, if Peter can celebrate being flogged for preaching, I should celebrate a brother in Christ collecting something from me, and the person is not able to pay back. Why? Without contradiction, the less is blessed of the better. So if I'm the one that blessed you, I am better than you. Whatever you've achieved in this world, I will overtake it. So why should I give myself stress? That I gave you money, you don't pay back. It's only evidence that I will rise higher than whatever level you can rise. For you to rise higher than me in life, you must bless me more than I have blessed you. So I keep blessing. I don't stop. You see, because Jesus said, when they take away your coat, give them your shimi inside also. He said, and those that take away from you, don't ask again. Those scriptures were not put there for decoration. So when you operate contrary to that, he is not comfortable with you. It's different from if I walk and you don't pay me. That one is walk. That's a totally different scripture entirely. Deborah is working this way. But my brother collected money from me and I'm still harassing the person. Heaven will just close and pretend I don't exist. God will say, what? Do I know you? I don't know you. If you want all the ones I've been giving you, how many have I collected back? The Bible said the gifts and callings of God, they will not return. I cannot tell you how many people have collected money in the name of loan from me. And I know I will never get it back. And I don't care. I don't care because there is more where that came from. He that gave it to me to give in the first place must have more for me to survive by. Do you understand? I wish I had millions in my account. I wish I even had 300k in my account or even 100k in my account. I wish I had 50k in my account right now. I wish I did. But the point is, my not having it in my account does not stop me from going out tomorrow to go and buy a car.
That's right.
I want to buy a car, I'll buy it straight. Why? See, the Spirit of Christ dwells in me. And he knows how to get things done. And because it's at home in me, he will simply tell me within my heart, do it like this. Do it like this. Do it like this. So stand to your feet this morning and this evening and ask yourself, is he dwelling in you? If he's not dwelling in you, he goes out now and apologize. Tell him. Tell him anything you've done to drive him away from inside you, that he should forgive. People who have Christ dwelling in them, their brain is so energized, so activated, they don't look for ideas. Ideas flow. Ideas flow. I don't know what we've been practicing for the past few decades, but real Christianity, we are just about to start. Because all we've been doing is just going to church and having church. But there were groups. But if we really want God to operate in us, then we must learn to be God to our brethren. We must make it conducive for the Holy Spirit by following His word and His ways. Lift up your hands. this evening and say, Holy Spirit,
Holy Spirit,
whatever I may have done
whatever I have done
that made you uncomfortable in your own temple,
make you uncomfortable in your own temple,
today
I
repent.
repent.
Forgive me.
Forgive me.
I want you
I want
to be comfortable
to be comfortable
in me.
in me.
I don't want you to be that squatter,
I don't want you to be that
squatting in your own house.
squatting in your own
I'm
house.
wondering what is happening to your
I'm
home.
wondering what is happening to your home.
I want you to be comfortable in me.
I want you to be comfortable.
I want you to dwell in
I
me.
want you to be
I don't want you to be an if anymore.
I don't want you to be an if anymore.
Dwell in me
Dwell in me
and give me life.
give me life.
The Christ life.
The Christ life.
In the name of Christ
In the
Jesus.
name of Christ Jesus. Amen.
Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
You see, the real prayers that bring changes is not the one that make you fight demons you cannot see. You know how embarrassing it is for you to be binding a demon that is doing something in Moscow. And you are here binding him over your issues. And you're not even there. Meanwhile, the real contention is, did you give God the room to work? Did you allow God to be God in your heart? This is not about coming to sing songs to God. You see, all those things we call devotion, all those things are not devotion. Those things are practices. Real devotion is a commitment to fulfilling the counsel of God with everything in you. If devotion was coming to do praise and worship 30 minutes and forming choir, Jesus would have formed the biggest orchestra you ever saw. Morning devotion, I woke up, I sang, I have done my morning devotion. No. Devotion is how you conduct yourself all through the day. When they tell you there is going to be a four-night visit throughout the month of June, devotion is yes! Not hey. They want to kill us, oh, they want to kill us. And I have wedding on one of the Saturdays. Devotion is when they say it's God, they're excited. That's devotion. They're excited. Once they say it's God, that is, your salary was just increased to 1 million a month. And then God said, quit. Devotion is, Father, thank you. There must be something better. Yes. 5K salary a month for the next 3 years. Devotion is when you take your Mercedes Benz 500 SEL and sow it as a seed, and God allows you to trek 4 years and you don't miss a service of 1 minute. So because the next time you want to tell pastor you came late, you want to remind pastor that the ride he's now riding that you gave him is the reason why you are coming late, because pastor is now using the ride that used to make you come early. After all, they now say you're a fool if you give. But devotion is the willingness that once it is God, your heart jumps at it with excitement. And nothing competes with it. You see all those businesses you have, the same day you have a commitment to God and you choose to go for the business, you and God are falling apart a long time ago, you backslid. Because those businesses now matter, those cousins now matter, those uncles now matter. My mom knows. You can't clash. My father knew it. See, the Bible says honor your father and your mother. The Bible says obey God. When it came to a competition between obey my father and disobey God, I chose God and told him bye-bye. Because God created me. In the army, you obey the superior officer.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand what I'm saying? I obey God. Leave Papa alone. That's what you see now. I will use millions of naira to slap his mouth later after God has blessed me. But for now, let him be sulking because of this money. Do you understand what I'm saying? I am giving you an attitude that this generation lacks is the reason why we are not seeing God. We think if we pray more, if we pray hard, if we did that, that's when God will move. No. God will move when He can trust us. And before He can trust us, He will test us. He tested Abraham. What makes you think He won't test you? He's not a fool. That's why the Bible says, count it all joy when you fall into diverse trials. It is trial. He will test you. You will see whether you are committed or not. It will take away everything you like. Take away your job, take away your relationship, leave you single long enough for you to say, God, you must be very stupid. After you blaspheme, you say, this won't pay. And you will concentrate on the one that says, God, I know you have a purpose for my business. So if you don't want me to be married, well and good. If you want me to be married, well and good. Meanwhile, Father, what will you have me to do? But you are spending sleepless nights and the only thing you are disturbing God about is that I am not married. That's not devotion. Devotion is, Lord, what is your agenda for my life right now? The Bible said, having in readiness to revenge all disobedience when your own obedience is complete. And if you are willing and obedient, you will eat the good of the land. So a will, there must be willingness. Then there must be obedience. Who do you choose today? Raise your hand again and say, Holy Spirit, I want you to dwell with me. If you mean it from your heart, I want you to be comfortable in my heart. Father, we give you praise. To you be the glory, to you be the honor, being magnified. Be exalted, O Lord. Thank you, Lord. In Jesus Christ's name.
Amen.
Amen and amen.
Amen.
I hope you will go home, ponder, meditate, spend more time, get to know the Holy Spirit better. Because throughout the month of June, we are going to highlight him a lot. We have put him in the corner too long. Now the devil is raising mouths because the Holy Spirit is in one corner. We are bringing him back to the surface.
Amen.
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 Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Well, God bless you. It's been wonderful.